Hi, and welcome to another episode of Quietly Marketing. And today I'm going to be discussing ad blocking. The good, the bad, what exactly is it? What does it mean for your business? And how can you combat ad blocking in the future? And what should you be doing to adapt to what is going to become possibly a standard in the future? So, ad blocking. The reason why I decided to talk about this today, as people who watch my show regularly, dozens of people, will know that I'm big on the concept of content marketing is the only marketing left. And with the stats that I'm seeing these days with ad blocking and how it's rising, I think that content marketing is truly going to be the most important tactic that your company should be adopting. I always discuss the power of promotion with regards to paid promotion on through banner advertising, through paid search, through ads on Facebook, LinkedIn, but soon that might not be as easy as it currently is. All right, so take a step back. Ad blocking, what is it? Well, when you're talking about your mobile phone, you are talking about an app that you can download to essentially get rid of any kind of ad that is on a website. So everything from annoying pop-ups that come up to even as ingrained as social sharing buttons can be removed. So there's a lot of different functionalities and types of advertising that you can remove, even down to the very basics of the Google ads that you see on the top of searches. So any type of ad that you see, you can remove it, okay? And then on desktop devices, you're looking at extensions that you can download to also remove ads as well. And these came about a few years ago and started gaining some traction, but the popularity now is getting, I don't want to use it out of control. It's not like it's a bad thing, but it's rising at an enormous rate. All right, currently you're looking at 30% of mobile devices currently have ad blocking enabled. That's a 62% increase from the last time the study was held a year ago. That's huge. This is kind of numbers that you can't ignore, and the numbers only seem to be increasing. So expect it to be a third of devices by 2017, and I think it's only going to rise from there. So, is this good or is this bad? Well, let's look at who it's good for first and foremost. It's great for users. For the most part, it's fantastic for users. I'm not a fan. I hate pop-ups. In fact, when researching for this story today, I was served a pop-up. Now, that's just irritating me. Now, to be fair, this pop-up isn't for like an ad, but I just don't like pop-ups in general. If you listen to me enough, you'll realize I just don't like any kind of pop-ups. You can show me stats all day long that they're effective. I don't care. I think they're a bad user experience. But then look at the ads on the side of websites. I just hate them. I'm not a fan of them. I think a lot of times it's because they're not relevant to me. I have no problem with the remarketing ads, or you forgot to check out this from your Amazon cart. That's fine with me. But I have real issues with very loosely related topics that I might be interested in that are just flashing over and distracting me from the content that I'm trying to read. So from my point of view, for users, it's great. Who is it not great for? Well, it's not great for publishers. People who own their own websites, especially bloggers, who rely on the income of advertising, who rely on having those banner ads put on there. Also for people such as Google, Facebook, Microsoft. All these companies are being affected greatly by this. In fact, Mark Zuckerberg has gone on record recently and said that it's worrying for Facebook that these ads are getting blocked and it's becoming more and more popular. So, and how much revenue is this actually costing? This number is anywhere from 1 billion to 21 billion last year. Ad blocking cost customers. So that's a huge range, 1 to 21 billion. That's a giant range, but we can regardless say it's a giant number, and it's starting to affect people's revenue streams at companies, and people are going to have to adapt as a result. It also is going to hurt agencies specifically who specialize in paid search, banner advertising, paid promotion on Facebook. People have to start taking note that companies who are exclusively in this line of work might start to be affected. And from some stories I'm reading, they already are, and certainly be concerned about. So why was ad blocking, why is ad blocking important? Why am I a fan of ad blocking? Why do I think it's something that's going to continue to be adopted? Well, one, they're just annoying. Let me use that way. They're really annoying. I think ads take away from the user experience. I think user experience is the most important thing on a website, and I think ads distract from content or video or anything I'm doing. I'm not ignorant. I know how incredibly important advertising is. I know it's sometimes how sites stay in, it's how sites stay in business. It's how Google and Facebook are able to do. They need the revenue from this. But I'm just looking at it purely from, it's important to users because it's distracting from the content. So the less ads you have, the more you can concentrate on the content and actually get more out of it. It's also good for security. Malware or other viruses can come through the code that you've put in your site in order to get banner advertising onto it. And again, from a user experience point of view, it speeds up your site. If you have a lot of advertising on there, a lot of flash files, things like that, it's going to create, your site can actually going to load faster. So again, a better user experience. And if you're looking at a mobile device, it actually streams less data if you have it. So it's also great. So I think it's very valuable to actually have that off there, and it's actually taking, I think it's bringing user experience to another level. So what should you do about this? Now that you know that ad blocking is, clearly you're starting to see the numbers that I am, that's rising at a ridiculous rate, you should start taking notes. So what can you do about this? Well, let's take a world where ad blocking has taken over the majority. Let's say 75% of mobile devices now have ad blocking, so you cannot do paid promotion to get your content out there. So what do you have to do now? Well, what do you think content marketing is? If creating awesome, amazing content and using word of mouth to get that, to get those stories out there through organic listings, so SEO coming back into play here. It never went away, but it might be more of a factor here. If there are no ads, how do you get searched for any type of topic? I think that's going to be an even more important play. Your content has to be even that more valuable now. It has to be so much that it stands out from the crowd and you can't pay anybody to get it. And if your content is good enough and you can get that one spark, that one little of interest, your story and your content is going to get shared. And this is going to create a lot more people, a lot more companies to abandon paid and start really taking note of native advertising, product placement, similar to the SNL story that I discussed a few weeks back, where we're going to have to team up, brands are going to have to team up with content creators to create content that works for both audiences. That's going to have to be important as well. Now, it doesn't mean that ads necessarily have to go away. A lot of ad blocking just takes out the code that companies use to put their ads on your site. It doesn't stop you from putting an ad, a static image, a static banner on your website. So if a company reached out to you directly and says, hey, I'd like to put an advertisement on your website, you can put a static image on there and have it click through to their site, so that's still fine. It's very much kind of how magazines used to have to, put advertisements in, still to this day, I guess, where you have to physically go ahead, you have to buy the placement, put the placement on there, and that's actually a really great thing. Yes, a lot more time consuming, maybe not practical at all times, but what it's doing is you're going to have people at brands really searching out individual websites that your users are going to and paying to put a banner on there. And not just serving it up to a general audience. It's very specific websites that you'll be targeting. I think that's going to start coming into play a little bit more. A lot more research into what type of audiences are going to which websites, and where can I put put a banner on there. It might become much more valuable. You might have to pay a lot more to put out on there, but it might be worth it to you to do it. That's kind of long and short of it. I mean, I think the strategies are going to start forming a lot more as this becomes more and more adopted. We're still at 30%, so it's not the majority of it, but you have to start planning for this. And I think the best way to do that right now is to keep investing in content, keep investing in creativity, and keep investing in growth hacking methods to get your product out there. Certainly, start gaming up your subscriber base. All your content, start getting people to subscribe to your content, because you can always throw out emails to your email lists and start getting people in that way. Really starting to build up subscriber base as much as you can as these ads become more and more scarce. And I think that's a good mentality to go through anyway, even if for whatever reason ad blocking becomes not as adopted as it appears to be going. If it starts to go back a little bit and becomes not as popular, I think taking on this content marketing approach, building up your subscribers, which is kind of the base of almost every single discussion I have here, is really, really important. And even if self-pays do come back, great, you can always do paid advertisement, but start looking at this. Start pretending as if you don't have the paid promotion to rely on. And I think that's just going to make you create better content. It's going to make you think outside the box a little bit more. And other ways you can grow your business and get more people to your site, more people to read your content, and ultimately become customers and subscribers of yours. So thank you for your time today, and I will talk to you again next week.